I'll say, okay, like, that sounds hard. Let's get into that. So then I'll say, so I told my kid to shut off the TV. They just kept watching. They just kept on. I told my kid to stop jumping on the couch, and they kept jumping. They don't respect my boundaries. They don't listen. To me, this is like a beautiful example of like, this is a problem, I agree, but this is not a boundary problem. You made a request of your child. And frankly, if you have your, I'm making this up, 7-year-old watching TV, I'm not so good at putting away TV and a phone at night. Like, it's just hard for me to do. So your 7-year-old probably is just, addicted to what's ever happening. And we're kind of asking our kid to do our job for us because we don't want our kid to be mad at us or whatever it is. A boundary in that situation would be saying, oh, you didn't put off the TV. Look, by the time I get over there, if you haven't turned off the TV, and I don't want to do this, but I will take the remote out of your hand and shut it off. A boundary is saying, ooh, after my request doesn't work, can you get off the couch? You can jump on the floor. Look, if by the time I get over there, you haven't gotten off the couch, I will pick you up. That is, like, I'm not going to put the success of my intervention in my 7-year-old's hand. I care too much about my own needs and my own role as a leader in my home to do that, right? Same thing with, let's say, in-laws. My mother-in-law doesn't respect my boundary. She always shows up without calling. Now, I don't want to get to this point, and there's a lot of things in a relationship we can do before we get to this point, but if that's really a boundary, and I have a very kind of intrusive mother-in-law, a boundary would be saying, look, this is going to be awkward, and I know you mean well, but the next time you come unannounced, I will come to your car and say, oh, this time doesn't work for us. You cannot come in, and I will go back into my house and close the door. Now there's going to be lots of feelings around that, but you are now setting a true boundary.